Hi YouTube, welcome if you are new here, and if you are a regular, thanks for joining me again. I'm in that sugar-fueled haze that is the time between Christmas and New Year, so I hope you're all having a good holiday. Happy New Year if you're watching this in late December. I thought I would do something different this time, and I decided to review the very popular series that is Breaking Bad. I didn't watch it when it was originally aired, but I was browsing Netflix plentiful content and I thought I would try it. I think what initially put me off watching it was I thought it was about drugs, drug lords, and that's a genre which doesn't really appeal after all those flaccid Guy Ritchie films from the early part of the century. Netflix algorithm is interesting. I mentioned this in a Megan review. I'm glad it did, as it is an awesome series. Breaking Bad has got the streaming service actually to thank for its resurgence in its popularity with a new generation of viewers and people like me who didn't watch it initially. The plot starts with a New Mexican chemistry teacher called Walter White, who is married and has a disabled son. His wife is also pregnant. He is financially strained and has a side gig after school at a car valet service to help ends meet. Walter is a man who seems frustrated with his life, and he has a countenance to match. One day he collapses at the car valet and he is diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. How will they pay for his treatment? That old chestnut making crystal meth. He gets a peek at a drug raid when he accompanies his brother-in-law Hank, who is in the DEA. Hank is very much needed in this series. He is a kind-hearted and funny character who smooths over some of the rather dark plots. If it wasn't for his character, it could be a bit dark. Rather serendipitously, Walter sees a former pupil of his who manages to not get seen at the raid. Jesse Pinkman is the once student of Walter's and now a meth addict and dealer. Walter initially has contempt for him and decides to manipulate Pinkman and promises he can make a purer type of meth. Being a chemistry teacher, he thinks he could do that. They get this ancient fecal-coloured RV and proceed to start cooking in the New Mexican desert. Breaking Bad is a series based around moral compasses, dilemmas. Ordinarily, we'd think, well, meth dealer, well, that's not good, is it? But he needs money for his cancer treatment, which is essential. And he is a man with a pregnant wife, a son with cerebral palsy. He's doing it for his family, he says. He repeatedly says he does it for his family. We learn that he actually worked with a couple at university. They all set up this business called Grey Matter. He was not a part of that. They went on to be billionaires. The wife, upon learning of Walter's terrible health situation, actually says, well, we'll pay for the treatment. But his stubborn pride prevents this. I think at this point we see him rather as a meth maker. He wants to be more than a teacher. He doesn't want to be the beneficiary of a gift. These people actually, we learn, fucked him over, and he wants to do it on his own. He wants to be a billionaire. He even actually, the latter part of this, one of the series, he gets a Bentley like they do. It's there's so many details in this series. It's about Walter and his pride. So the moral compass shifts again. He, of course, doesn't divulge that he's cooking up meth in the desert with a former pupil, and Skyler, his wife, thinks he's actually accepted the offer from his previous business partners. Walter loves what he does, i.e. the meth. He is an arrogant man, but then as the viewer you think, well, he does have cancer, so there's that. However, it's plain it's really not for his family. He gives himself the pseudonym Heisenberg when he meets the notorious, unstable and evil Chico Salamanca from the notorious Kingpin family, and this man is high on his own supply. This, of course, is a nod to the German physicist who was a Nobel Prize winner and worked on Hitler's Manhattan Project. It's key, this name, Heisenberg, he calls himself. He's known as Heisenberg. That's all people know him as, this mysterious man. And what's key about it is the duality. The family man and the drug lord. Werner Heisenberg's theory that it cannot be known of a particle's exact position and its velocity at the same time, such is Walter White and Walter Heisenberg. Hitler liked meth. He liked cocaine, he liked heroin, he liked pretty much anything. And he was prescribed it by his doctor. They could have used his name. He was a very famous doctor at the time. I guess Heisenberg would please Walter because he thinks himself a certified genius. Breaking Bad is a series which is laced with dark humour. It's intelligent and not predictable. Skyler is the perpetually disenfranchised wife who is initially appalled when she knows of her husband's side gig, but then she launders the money for him because she's an accountant. She cooks the books, he cooks the meth. We see a slight shift in her, but it's obvious she is more for her family than Walter is. She, I think, is rather disturbed by it. Hank knows of Heisenberg as the name, and he chases after him. It becomes his thing, but he's oblivious to his familial connection until he visits for Walter's birthday. If you remember the scene, you'll know what I'm talking about. It made me laugh actually when I was thinking of this review. Don't leave books on your lavatory. Gus Fring is the drug lord for the area under the guise of a chicken shop franchisor. He works with Walter when the demand for his pure meth spikes. Gus is comedic, that fixed grin of the public-facing employee, the calm persona, like really calm, and the dead eyes masking his psychopathic nature. When he isn't smiling, he is plotting. He's meticulous, and he has this disdainful countenance. Jesse Pinkman has an interesting dynamic with his former teacher. They actually care about each other. Jesse feels like he has a father with Walter. Pinkman is a complicated and conflicted man who develops a relationship with his neighbour, who is a recovered addict. She starts up again with the meth. She dies of an overdose. And Walter watches over this. It's almost as if she is in the way of Jesse and him, because he cares about her. And Pinkman is devastated, and we see he's more human than Walter is. Walter does not mention that he was there when she dies until later on. Then there is the loyal and fascinating Mike. He's a favourite character of many. He's a favourite character of mine. Mike is Fring's henchman, who looks like he is tired of life, basically. What you see is what you get with him. He is happiest when he's with his family, but he has this comedic presence, and he actually does have a moral code. I'm currently watching Better Call Saul, and Mike features heavily in that. He has his origin story, and whilst he is apparently a simple character, he is very layered. Speaking of Saul, he is a dodgy lawyer who is actually very competent, but he is sleazy and hilarious at the same time, which shouldn't be, but it's the talent of the actor and of the scriptwriters. Saul works with Fring, Pinkman, Mike, Walter, and he is gauche and corrupt, but essentially likeable, and Better Call Saul is very good. Walter White is an archetypal narcissist who is the victim, the hero, and the martyr. He is fragile and insecure, but then he has this toxic grandiosity. I know people use the word narcissist a lot. Everybody's a narc these days, but he really is a narcissist. Breaking Bad is a fantastic series. It certainly does not glamorise meth. It doesn't glamorise drugs in general, which is good. It's brilliantly acted, engaging, and helped me spell Albuquerque. So there's that. I won't do any spoilers as usual, and if you haven't watched the series, try it. It's not what you might think. If you enjoyed this, which I hope you did, please give it a like, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.